In today's video, I'm going to be doing an install and review of this new flush mount LED light from Commercial Electric. So I've been sent this light from Home Depot as a sample. So I'm going to show you how to install this, and then I'm going to let you know what I think about this light afterwards. So one thing I wanted to start off by saying is if you're not comfortable working with electrical, do call a professional to do this. But changing out a fixture like this is pretty simple. So you can follow the steps in this video and you should have no problem doing it. So let's jump right in and we'll see what we got here. So inside, we've got some instructions and information about the light, as well as something from Home Depot. Again, if you're not comfortable doing this, you can definitely scan this QR code here and be directed to their pro. So all we have inside here so far is the top cover for the light, as well as the light here with a little package that should have some morettes inside. So let's jump over to the room that I'm going to be installing this in, and I'll show you how to do it. So when it comes to removing the previous light that you had, this may vary a little bit depending on what you have set up. I've already removed mine, so I'm just going to skip this portion, but you can do the install in reverse. That should help you remove the previous light that you do have set up here. When it comes to working with the light, you have two options. You can go down to your electrical panel and shut off the breaker to the room, or you can keep the light switch shut off. So I'll show you with a voltage tester here. So the light switch right now is shut off on this room, and you can see that we have no power running to the black wire. We just turn the switch on, and you can see that we have power now running to this wire here. So we've shut the light switch back off, and it's off here. So now that we know we have the light switch off, we're safe to actually connect a new light here. Depending on how your house is wired, you may have one or two, or even sometimes three, like this one has a couple neutrals and just one positive coming out. There are a few extra positives in here, and then we've got our ground wire connected actually to the box here. So now that we're getting ready to connect the light, on the back here you can see the mounting bracket, and it's connected with two star screws. We're just going to remove the bracket off of the light here. And we've got a little tiny bag here that should have the morettes and the other screws that we're going to need. So we have 3 morettes and the 2 mounting screws that will connect the bracket to the box here. So depending on the style of light, when it comes to the ground wire, sometimes you're going to need to connect this directly to the box. But because this bracket has a ground wire on here, and we know our main ground is grounding to the box, when we connect this to the box, we're just going to actually attach the ground wire to this bracket instead, which is going to ground the voltage. So we're going to jump back into the room and we're going to connect the bracket, and we'll get ready to connect the light. So now that we're ready to install the light, we're starting with our bracket like we said, and we're going to split the difference here between the 2 electrical wires. So we have those wires spread apart. We're going to thread the 2 supplied box bolts in position. So for now with the bracket, I've just kind of split the difference where I feel the bracket is centered on the box. But once we test fit the light up here, if we find it's too far left, too far right, we'll just adjust the bracket. So we've now got our light ready. We also have our morettes in our pocket. So we're going to start with the ground wire. So that is this bare copper wire here. You've got your positive and your neutral here. So I'm just going to wrap the ground around that green screw to start. And we're going to tighten the green screw down. Again, because the ground on this actual power from the house is grounded to the box, the bracket here is going to ground itself because it's connected to the box. So now that we have our ground connected, we're going to connect the neutral and then also the hot wire. So what I do is I make sure the wires are just nice and straight. I'm just going to grip them together and thread my moret on. We've got our neutral connected. We're going to do the same with the positive wire here. So we now have all three wires connected. So we can actually connect the screws back in place to mount the box up here. So the only thing you need to do is make sure when you do this, you can push these wires back inside of the box so they're not going to be pinched or bind up against anything. So we've got our wires tucked up out of the way. We've got our screw holes here positioned. So we're just going to set in the first screw a couple turns so we can let go of the light. And we can now set the back screw. So we've now got both screws connected. We've got our electrical. So we're going to test the light. So when you turn the switch on, we've got power. So we're going to get the outer portion set up and then we'll finish off. So the outer bracket has 3 tabs here. So it looks like it's just going to slide on here and you're going to spin it into position. And that's how you install it. So now that we're finished here, I have to say this is probably one of the easiest lights here that I've installed. Since the ground is connected to the bracket and not inside the box, it makes it super easy just to spin that around the green screw, tighten that down. You don't have to fight with the screw inside of the box. So I'm going to leave this in my back office. We're going to try it out for a while and see how it works. The only thing right away is this is a 3000 lumen, so it's a little bit more yellow, where I prefer a little bit more of a white light in my house. The light also is dimmable, so you could see I've got it on full bright right here, and we're going to pull it back down, which that is a great option as well. So if you're working a little bit later at night and you don't need all that light, you can definitely dim this. If you found this install video useful or you have any questions about the light, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.